Welcome to BBR. This isn't about stunts, hype, or racing trends. It's about bikes, riding and keeping it real. I've been training and riding for years, and now I'm putting it into a format anyone can follow along with. The idea is simple: show cycling as it really is. Not polished, not scripted, not pretending to be something it isn't. No clickbait, and most importantly, no mid-roll ads. There are already thousands of cycling channels out there, but most of them either chase the algorithm or polish everything until it doesn't feel like riding anymore. BBR is the opposite. It's about the ride itself, the gear that makes it possible, and the process of figuring things out along the way. BBR is about cycling in its raw form. Not just racing laps on a perfect track, but actually riding across towns, trails, and countries. It's cross-country at its core, but not limited to racing or drills. It's about the experience of riding, the gear that makes it possible, and the places and people that you find along the way. Sometimes that means a smooth trail where everything flows. Sometimes it's a muddy mess where you're fighting the bike just to stay upright. Sometimes it's a ride that doesn't go to plan at all. That's what I want to show here. The point isn't to make cycling look glamorous, it's to make it look real. Because that's what keeps people riding. The reality, not the marketing. Don't expect a rigid upload schedule. I'm not here to force content just to hit a deadline. I'll aim for a long form video on most weeks, usually a Friday or over the weekend, and shorts wherever I find something worth showing. There will always be a talking point. Bikes, skills, places to ride, or the gear that I'm using. But the rhythm will shift depending on what's worth filming. If there is nothing worth showing, there won't be a video, and that's the deal. I'd rather put out one honest video than 3 filler uploads, so if you're here, expect substance, not BS. And if you want a channel that uploads every Tuesday at 6 PM no matter what, this is not going to be it. This is about quality, not cadence. The main series will be trail discovery. Wherever I go in the UK, I'll be riding and scouting new spots. Some will be official trail centres with maps and signage, some will be hidden gems that only locals know about, like the trail that I'm on right now. And some will just be whatever I stumble across while riding. A cut through, a riverside path, a dirt line behind a housing estate. The point is to show what it's actually like to ride there, the good and the bad. If a trail's flowing and fun, you'll see it. If it's rough, broken, and not worth the hype, you'll see that too. I'll talk about how it rides, what works, what doesn't, and whether it's worth your time or not. I'll cover details that actually matter. Are the trails accessible, or do you need to trek miles just to get there? Is it rideable year round, or does it turn into a swamp in the winter? And most importantly, is it beginner friendly? Or is it going to punish you if you're not ready? It's not about selling a destination, it's about showing the reality of riding it. That way, if you ever head there yourself, you'll know exactly what to expect. Another series will be bike evolution. That's where I cover what changes on the bike over time. If something gets upgraded, replaced, or merged together, I'll do an in-depth review of it. Not just the shiny upgrades, but also the failures, the parts that didn't last, or the things that weren't worth the money. It's about showing what actually works in the real world, not what the marketing says. And it's not just the bike itself, it's the gear that I take riding. Tools, kit, bag, anything that earns its place. If it's on the bike or in the pack, it's there for a reason, and I'll explain why. If it breaks or lets me down, I'll show that too. For example, if I swap a drivetrain out, I'll cover why, what failed, and whether the upgrade was worth it or not. If I change tyres, I'll talk about grip, rolling resistance, different pressures and how they feel on them. If I add a bag or tool, I'll explain why it earned its spot and whether it's worth carrying. I'll also cover the small tweaks that don't usually get talked about. Cockpit setup, saddle changes, tyre pressures, even the way that I pack tools. These aren't headline upgrades, but they make a massive difference in how the bike feels day to day. Because I'm riding in all conditions, I'll be able to show how those little changes hold up over time. Sometimes a cheap part or a bodge ends up being more reliable than the expensive option. For example, the piece of cotton twine that I've got in my rear tyre that's lasted over 6 months, instead of an actual plug. It's those kind of things that are worth sharing. There might be more series in the future. I'm not looking BBR into one format. If feedback shows people want more skills breakdowns, I can do that. If people want more travel log style content, I can lean that way. Maybe even a series on the behind the scenes of filming if that's useful. Or an anti-hype gear review series where I deliberately test the stuff that gets marketed hard but rarely lives up to the claims. The channel will evolve the same way that the bike does, piece by piece, based on what works and what doesn't. That's the whole point. Nothing here is fixed, and that's what keeps it interesting. I would also like to give a quick nod to the bike shops that actually made this bike what it is and this YouTube channel possible. I originally spec'd the bike myself, and it was mostly built by Mike's Bikes because I didn't have the tools nor the budget to buy them. After that, Mike's Bikes was taken over by Haddington Bikes, and since then, they've kept it going through all the hard abuse that I put it through. No matter if it's a messed up bearing, even if they don't have the tools to fix what's broken at the time, they'll get the tools in, and they'll fix it for cheap as well. It's always quality work. Support like that is what really matters for our cyclists. It's always much appreciated. BBR isn't about chasing algorithms. No clickbait thumbnails, no mid-roll ads breaking the flow, no fake hype. It's about showing cycling as it really is. Sometimes that's a smooth trail, sometimes it's a muddy grind. Sometimes it's just a ride that doesn't go to plan. And it's not about being perfect on camera. My face isn't the content. The content is the ride, the bike, and the process. That's what you'll see here. And if something goes wrong, you'll see that too. Because that's part of riding. The crashes, the mechanicals, the wrong turns, they're all part of the story. And pretending they don't happen doesn't help anyone. I want BBR to be something you can actually trust. If I say a trail's worth riding, it's because I rode it. If I say a part's worth buying, it's because I tested it with my own money. And if I get it wrong, I'll own that. Too many channels are built on hype and sponsorships. This isn't one of them. I'd rather be wrong in public and corrected than pretend that I'm always right. The other side to this is also the community. I'll be reading comments, taking feedback, and adjusting as I go. If someone points out a better line choice or calls me out on outdated info, I'll take that on board. If you've got a trail suggestion or a bit of kit you think is worth testing, throw it in the comments. This channel is as much a chance for me to learn as it is to share what I already know. No one knows everything, and I'm not pretending to. The best part of cycling is that there is always something new to figure out. A new trail, a new setup, a new way of looking at the ride. That's what keeps it interesting, and that's what will keep BBR moving forward. So that's BBR in a nutshell. Trail discovery, bikes, and fun. Have a good one.